In this session, we will make ourselves familiar with the concepts of motion and a reference frame. Now, the term motion is not new to us. While referring to flying aeroplanes, moving cars, flying birds, etc., we are referring to motion. But in physics, we would like to define things. So, what is the definition of motion? When an object changes its position over time, then it is said to be in motion. For example, if I throw a ball on a hard surface, then it will do some rolling, and only after doing some rolling it will come to stop. That is, it has changed its position over time, and hence we say the ball was in motion. Now, what is rest? When an object doesn't change its position over time, then it is said to be at rest. Now, the studies of motion are called kinematics, is called kinematics. And kinematics is derived from a Greek word called kinema. So kinema means motion or movement. Now these concepts of rest and motion are little complicated because they are observer dependent. Let's see how. Suppose I am traveling in an aeroplane on a fine weather. Why fine weather? Because on fine weather there will be no pushes or jerks that would be experienced by me or the fellow passengers. That is equivalent to saying that I am moving with the constant velocity. As of now, you need not worry about what is constant velocity, but just consider the fact that I am not experiencing any push or any jerk. So the passengers will be at rest with respect to me, and I will be at rest with respect to them. But what about an observer who is standing on the ground? Suppose there is this observer standing on the ground. Then he will observe the plane like this. Suppose I am sitting over here. Then for this observer, I am changing my position over time like this. Deep down, he knows that aeroplane is actually causing the motion and I am actually at rest sitting on the seat. But in physics, we do not consider that. In physics, we consider the apparent change in the position over time. So for this observer, I will be in motion because I am changing my position over time. So these rest and motion concepts are observer dependent. For me, the fellow people will say I am sitting here making a video, and the fellow people sitting around me will say that I am at rest. But for an alien observing from an outer space, I will be in motion because the earth is in motion. So now this brings us to the concept of the reference frame. So let's understand what is a reference frame. A reference frame is a worldview that is particular to an observer, and this reference frame usually consists of a coordinate axis, usually one dimensional or two dimensional coordinate axis. It may be three dimensional also. So this is one of the simple reference frame. This is x and this is y with a time component to it. For example, in this reference frame there is this origin, and let's say my observer is sitting at origin with a clock in his hand. So he can record any event which is happening in this space, the two-dimensional space, and he can navigate this position, the x and in terms of x and y coordinates, and also he can record time. So suppose there is an explosion occurring here, so he can record x, y, and t. Suppose he starts his clock at t equal to 0 seconds. So after t seconds, suppose some explosion happens and he records this. So he has the information of the explosion totally. That is, not only where it happens in space, but also when it happens in time. So such a worldview is called a reference frame. Now let's speak about one of the simplest reference frame, that is one-dimensional number line. Now, before I take an example based on one-dimensional reference frame, I would like to talk about point object. For example, what is a point object? Suppose if I have a car like this, and this car is 3 meters in length. Now, if this car travels 50-kilometer distance from city A to city B, then for all the calculations of kinematics, I can neglect this length of 3 meter. That is, 50 kilometer is much larger than 3 meter distance, and hence I can neglect the dimension of this car, and hence I can say that this car is a point object. But this same car, if travels 6 meter distance, then it won't be a point object because the path traveled is comparable to this distance 3 meter. So now let's talk about the one-dimensional reference frame. So the one-dimensional reference frame is simple number line with the origin here and positive numbers on the right hand side and negative numbers on the left hand side. So suppose I'll take a scale of 10, suppose 10, 20, 30 like this, and this is minus 10, minus 20, minus 30 like this. Now as of now, let's forget the left part and let's focus on the right part. So this is origin. Now let's say this origin is a home of a taxi driver. Home of a taxi driver. And let's say this position is x equal to 0. It is origin and my observer is situated at this position, that is the origin. Let's say in the morning 9 a.m. he starts his taxi, and at 9 a.m. my observer starts recording time, that is t equal to 0 at 9 a.m. Let's say the taxi driver drives for about 2 kilometer, then x will be 2 kilometer over here. Let's say this is point A, and let's say after 10 minutes after 10 minutes he will come at this position A, that is at 9:10 a.m. Suppose he finds a passenger over here at position A and he drops him at position B, which is about 8 kilometer from A, that is 10 kilometer, and let's say it takes him 20 minutes. So he arrives there at 9:20 a.m. that is t equals to 20 minutes. And let's say he drops this passenger here, the passenger whom he got at position A, he drops him here at position B, and let's say he finds another passenger at position B and drops him here at position C. Let's say x is equal to 10 more, so this will be this is 2, this is 8, 10 more means 20 kilometer. So this is 20 kilometer, and let's say it takes him another 40 minutes, so at 60 minutes he is there. So another 40 minutes means 10 a.m. Now I would like to ask one question. What if my observer changes its origin? That is, what if he is now situated at position A? So what will happen? So let's draw this case here. Let's say my observer is now situated at x equal to 0, and this is point A again. The points won't move, so only observer has moved here at position A. So x equal to 0 is defined here. Then what will be this? This will be x equals to minus 2, because I have to subtract 2 from this and I will get the 0 here. So from 0 if I subtract 2, I will get x equal to minus 2. So similarly you subtract 2 from every point. So from O, if I subtract 2, it will be minus 2. From 2 it will be 0. From 10 it will be 8. And from this it will be 18 because I'm subtracting 2. Now the time axis will remain same. Suppose this will be t 10 minutes, t 20 minutes, and t equals to 16. What I have done here is I have just changed the position of the origin of my coordinate system. So what will be the result? Now let me calculate delta x. Let me calculate over here. Let me calculate delta x between 2 points BC. So what will be it? This will be equal to, for this case, in the first reference frame, it will be 20 minus 10. 20 minus 10 kilometer. So that will be 10 kilometer. Now in second reference frame, what will be delta x BC? Delta x BC will be 18 minus 8, that is 10 kilometer. Now if you take any 2 points, for example A and C here, if you subtract 0 from 18, then it is 18 kilometer, the distance between A and C. And similarly, the distance between A and C in this first frame is also 18. So 20 minus 2 is 18 kilometer. So even if I change the origin of the coordinate system, my delta x remains the same. That is, the distance traveled remains the same. So my even if I change my origin of the coordinate axis, then I can write, I can do further calculations. So it doesn't matter if I change my origin. Now let's change the origin of the time axis. So let me again draw this, and let's say this is just like before, x equal to 0, x equal to 2, x is equal to 10, and x is equal to 20. This is in kilometer. This is origin, yeah, this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now let's say my observer starts his clock when the taxi driver is at position B. So this will be t equal to 0. So now I have to adjust this. So t equal to 0, that means I subtracted 20 from this 20. So just subtract 20 from every other coordinate system. So there will be, this will be minus 10 minutes. This will be minus 20 minutes. And this will be 40 minutes. Now look, my observer is situated here, and when the taxi driver reaches the position B, he starts his clock. So here you can see the time is negative. That doesn't mean the time is going backwards. It only means that the observer started his clock 10 minutes after the taxi driver reached the point A. So 10 minutes after reaching the position A, the observer started his clock. Now let's do again the same thing with the time. So time interval between, suppose C and A, let's calculate. So delta TCA will be 40 minus 10. So 40 minus of minus 10 will be 50 minutes in this third reference frame. And in second reference frame and first reference frame, where the time axis is same, so delta TCA will be 60 minus 10, that is again 50 minutes. So if you choose any 2 points in this third reference frame and the second or first reference frame, and subtract these 2 points, that is find the time interval between the 2 points, they will be the same, they won't change. So delta x between any 2 points and delta t between any 2 points won't change. That means I can change my origin of the x coordinate and origin of the time coordinate, and other coordinates will reset themselves accordingly. So these are just labels like x equal to 0, x equal to 2, x equal to 20, t equal to 40. These are just labels. What matters is the time interval and the space interval, that is the distance. And hence, in physics, we will see displacements and time interval written like delta x and delta t. So this is useful. And these are the quantities on which the observer from every frame will agree upon, and hence they are important.